Is going to be interesting. We're looking forward to it. Welcome, Adora.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining this from. Today is about me talking about how you can use AI to improve your productivity. And based on what Yannick said, I will get into the presentation. So generally, I'm just going to talk about what we're going to be covering today. We will cover LLMs, we will cover model context protocols, which is MCP, which is sort of like the big thing now that is helping people integrate AI support into everything in life. We're going to talk about a couple productivity strategies that you can take on and a plan for you to transform yourself into an AI user, because I believe that AI isn't going to AI isn't going to directly be the reason why a lot of people are left behind because they are going to get replaced by AI. But what's going to happen is that the people that use AI and use AI ethically over time will replace the people that don't in different areas of, the world or in the industry or wherever. So it's important for you to be a user of this technology as well as a contributor whenever you get the chance. But the truth is, to contribute might take a longer time. I might take much more from you, but it's very important that you think about using and you go ahead and start to use. So I'm going to quickly talk about what, LLMs really are, right? These are pattern matching machines that kind of just got really good at predicting what comes next, right? They are trained on massive amounts of data. So books, websites, code, pulling information from websites like Reddit, Stack Overflow, Wikipedia, where many people are, they can understand context and generate human like responses. MCPs can help AI remember your previous conversations because um you can also connect them to your external tools. So for example, if you are um someone that wants to connect your LLMs to your Google Drive so that it pulls information from there, right? You want to connect to your email so that it actually books a calendar meeting for you and a couple of people. You want to make it have context of your code. So you want to use things like reusable prompts in Copilots so that you don't have to consistently type the prompts that you want for your code every single time and it has context. It does that for you. It can understand your specific work styles and your preferences, and it can pull data, like I said, from your actual files and your databases, right? You can go to Anthropic's website, which is Claude, and look into building your own MCP server. You can build that server and use that for yourself. So now I'm just going to talk about productivity superpowers, and there are a couple. The first one I would say for AI is AI helping with writing and communication. You can use AI for email automation. There's so many different kinds of prompts. And the thing about prompt design is that you have to be as specific as you can be because AI gives you, it's like garbage in, garbage out. The better your question, the better the responses that you get, right? Obviously, because this is a presentation as well, can't really give a full question and stuff like that, or a very long prompt. But I give very detailed prompts. I can literally tell AI, you are a second year student in grad school, currently working on a project for educational technology. You are passionate about people in rural Africa I want to give them the opportunity to succeed. You've been giving an assignment for choosing 5 different options out of the 15 that you brought. I have attached the 15 options as a document. Give me a table and draw a pro and cons list for each option. Arrange each option from best to worst and tell me why you would choose it. That is a prompt, right? That way, I have given the AI context to what it is, how I want it to act. I have shown the AI the problem. I have given the AI any additional information, an attached document, maybe an attached brief, a fuller conversation. And I have also told the AI like the format in which I want the output, right? Most times, what I even like to do, because I tend to talk a lot, if I type, I would want to summarize it. It's normal. I don't know if everyone's brain works like that, but when I'm typing, I communicate in summaries. When I speak, I just blab. And so sometimes I would rather blab to AI, especially when I have to over explain and give it prompts that I want it to do a very good at executing. I would turn on my microphone and speak as opposed to writing. Obviously, when I'm done speaking and it has translated my voice to text, places where I was stuttering or places where I feel like maybe they were not relevant but came out as a result of me speaking, I would delete them. And then I would send that message to the AI, telling it everything I want in exactly the way I want it. And it does what it is supposed to do. I want to tell AI to create a presentation. I can say, create an outline for a 10-minute presentation on why every startup needs DevOps for a non-technical audience. Include compelling stories and practical examples. The target audience is business leaders that are non-technical but want to tie reliability to business gains. More information on the event is attached. And so I have given it more context. I have told it what I want, the format in which I want my response in, which is an outline, and everything else to help AI figure out what it's supposed to do for me. The second superpower is research and analysis, right? You can use to do technology research. I recently wrote a document for, like I said before, I'm currently an engineering manager. I lead teams across the US and the UK, right? I recently wrote a document for in my office around how we can solve a problem with ownership, because we have different microservices all over the place, but we still have, you know, monoliths all over the place as well. And as someone sitting in senior leadership and in a lot of meetings with senior management, how do we make sure that teams own things, right? And I came up with something, and in the process of coming up with it, I wanted to add statistics because I was making a case for a product that we should buy within the company. And obviously, when you are going to leadership and telling them to spend money on a tool, you need to be able to back up why that tool is important. And years ago, I would go to Statistica and keep flipping through different statistics, keep checking different companies like Gartner as well. Gartner is another company that does a lot of research. So they have, you know, data and insights for certain things. I will go to these platforms and it will take me about 3 hours to find the right statistics that I need. But nowadays, I will go to Claude or ChatGPT and say, I need research about XYZ. Find me valid research um that can prove that this and this is the case, and insert the links. I want to view them. And then obviously they will do their thing and give me the responses because they will crawl the internet. I will now, as opposed to going to do a Google search that might take a longer time because I have to do multiple Google searches and keep checking random pages, AI has narrowed down, the pages to check for me. And most likely, if I asked AI for 20 examples, before I click the first 10, I found the answer that I'm looking for. And then I'm able to now take that research, embed it into my documentation, and keep writing my docs. Next thing is task automation, right? You can use AI to generate code for you. Many people do it within Copilots. You are able to generate like code for reading a file of job applications and extracting company names and stuff like that. You're able to, I pair program a lot with AI, right? AI is helping me be a better programmer because code will be written and I would type and I would be like, okay, this first few lines that I wrote, I want you to tell me if there's a better and optimal way for doing it. I use AI to prepare for systems design interviews. I would give AI a problem. If I want to design a tool like Ticketmaster, how would I make sure that the tickets expire 15 minutes if I've saved the ticket but I've not paid for it? Do you think an event-driven architecture makes sense for this flow? Or do you think using the databases, maybe like a cache or a regular database, and putting a time to live there so that in 15 minutes the data is deleted from the database if I have not paid for it? Do you think that works best ultimately? Right. The next thing is creative problem solving. AI really helps with brainstorming sessions. It helps with design thinking and innovation challenges. I will share this um deck with Yannick so that the rest of the team can have it if they want. And the fifth one is time management, right? You could use AI to plan your day. You could use AI to help you create like, weekly schedules, um, and, work on optimizing your week. And then also track your goals. If you have a long-term goal, tell AI to break it down into monthly milestones, measurable actions, and things like that. And then you can now have those monthly milestones. Maybe if you're like me that has a lot of keys in front of like your office table and things like that, you could put those milestones there and consistently reevaluate over time. Now let's talk about your 30-day transformation plan, right? If you want to sort of get into using AI fundamentally, right? You want to start building a foundation first. You want to set up your accounts, you want to start doing basic prompting. And over time, you actually get better at prompting AI as you grow and as you learn. In the next week, you can now start thinking about using AI for explaining complex concepts, using AI to automate some repetitive tasks, maybe because you've built an MCP server and you've integrated it to your calendar or other forms of tooling, and you are now using AI for that specific reason, right? You are now thinking about how you can start giving AI advanced prompts because you want to test AI doing maybe a bit more edgy or crazy things for you, and starting to build your prompt library because I said reusable prompts are very important in coding as well as in other areas. You want to have you can have those prompts um however you want to have them, but there are some things that consistently you will be asking AI, whether it is context you would need to give AI, or maybe frequent questions that you ask or frequent ways you phrase certain things. It's important to keep those things somewhere so that whenever you need them, it's a copy and paste type of scenario, right? um if you've not maybe set up your MCP server in the third week, like I said, this is something you can go to the Anthropic website and sort out yourself. You can do that. You can start creating content using AI. You can start asking AI, for, oh, create a pros and cons list for me for XYZ. I want to make a decision. And then you can refine and improve whatever it is that you are doing with AI. And then over time, you start to build things with AI. You have a long-term planning AI strategy. Even at some point, you might be sharing with people what you are doing with AI and how you are doing it. You might be thinking about building something with AI to augment whatever mainstream products AI has, because there are certain personal use cases that you might have. Today, you've built a product for yourself, a product you use all the time that's helping you, and you've built it with AI. Tomorrow, you can actually decide that you want to build a SaaS product and sell it. And that's what I think that AI is going to birth. AI is going to birth a lot of individual entrepreneurs that can now do things, especially people that have creative minds, right? That can now do things for themselves and by themselves. Some of those things will become fully fledged companies. Some of them might not, but they will just become like products that people are selling and making money off of. Imagine somebody being able to sell a product for $500,000 and they've sold it and they've moved on to building the next thing. That's nice money to have, right? And these are things that are consistently going to happen because leveraging AI takes a lot of cognitive load away to focus on other things, and you can now start fully coming into yourself, if that makes sense. Um, I also just want to quickly touch on the ethical use of AI before ending this. Microsoft has a whole ethical AI framework, but that is for builders and researchers. Because there are some things that it talks about fairness, correctness, and things like that. These are things that sometimes are beyond us as users. But I'm going to just talk about something in the context of using AI. Transparency is very important, right? Be honest about using AI in your work, right? If you're writing a paper, if you're ever doing research and you're using AI to do your research, if you are in a school that if you cite AI in your research, you'll be penalized for it. I don't know. I think you should change that school because I honestly think that it would be unfair to anyone for anyone to pretend that this is not our current reality and prevent you from using tools that should be helping you and tools that are going to be very much part of your future just because they don't want you to use AI. If that's the case, why is everyone spending billions of dollars on that industry? Right. So I believe that you should not be um afraid to say you use AI in whatever thing you worked on, whether it is a research paper, whether it is maybe you are a copywriter and you wrote copy for a script or something, right? So you should always be transparent about AI assistance in your work. I don't think it's a problem. It's created to help you, and so you should use it, right? You should credit AI when appropriate, right? You want to make sure that you are not taking credits for AI's work. Like anything that AI did, you say is you that did it when we both know that that's not the case. Right? You should always fact check important information as well because AI isn't always 100% right. And you don't want a situation where you create something and somehow it is wrong. And when it is wrong, nobody actually really cares about the fact that it was a ChatGPT prompt response. Everybody would attribute this to you and say that you have said rubbish or you are trying to mislead people or you've created something that isn't good enough or accurate. So you want to make sure that, and even ChatGPT says it, Claude says it. If you look at the bottom of the text bar, you see that ChatGPT can make mistakes, right? It's written there. And so you should verify information when you get them for your own benefit. If you are going to be using any AI tools as well, please protect your sensitive data. It is very important that you do that. There's no reason why you should be pasting your passwords in your ChatGPT window. There's no reason why you should be pasting sensitive information or trade secrets for your company or different kinds of specific things in AI because that data is not private data and that data is being used for different things. And also, as a bonus point, you should consider that AI could be biased in decision making, and that's also one of the reasons why I was advocating for not just using, but using and building over time. Right? The AI is as smart as the exposure that it has. The same way human beings too, the ones that are not exposed, when you have conversations with them, you can tell, right? I mean, in AI we call it bias because it's definitely affecting some people in the world, but the point is you should recognize that there could possibly be bias and um get involved into AI creating for AI and creating with AI. Because if we're going to have a balanced world and a fully represented world when it comes to AI models and the data that AI has about us in our different spheres, we have to contribute to making it the case. We have to contribute to building data sets. We have to contribute to helping with a lot of all these things. I see companies like Hugging Face. I want to see more of that. I want to see some of them that are more African. I see companies like Pinecone. I want to see more of that. Scale AI. I want to see more of that. I want to see a bunch of all these companies that are African and that are collaborating with the big people, the ChatGPTs, the Claudes, the Nvidias, the Metas, and are building AI and we're giving them all these things. Um, a couple do's and don'ts. Use AI to learn and understand concepts better. Generate ideas as first drafts, then refine them consistently. Automate repetitive, non-creative tasks, and then check work for accuracy. Don't submit AI generated work without disclosure. Don't rely on AI for critical decisions without verifying things because it could mislead you. Don't share confidential information with your AI tools, and don't use AI to replace developing your own skills. I saw a research recently. I think it was done in MIT, and it just shows like the brain internally, people before they were using AI and people now that they are using AI, and something worrisome is happening because now everybody is outsourcing their thinking to ChatGPT, which should not be the case. You should have your independent thoughts. ChatGPT should help you. There are different things that ChatGPT has taught me about history in different parts of the world. Things that I know that maybe I would have had to read a full book for, or go and watch a couple historic materials and watch some documentaries that I don't have time for. But I'll ask ChatGPT, oh, what's going on in this country? What's going on between these two countries? What happened in 1976? What does this represent? And I'm learning as I'm doing that. Sometimes I can even tell ChatGPT, tell it to me as a story, and I play it in the audio, and I'm hearing it as a story, and I'm picking things up, right? So AI should augment your life and contributes to your learning. It shouldn't make you mentally lazy. It's very important. And one thing I also want to say is that this presentation was created by my assistant with AI. So I have an operations team because I do multiple things at the same time. And I told her that I was giving an AI presentation and I would want her to use AI to create the presentation so that it would be interesting. Obviously, she designed it with Canva and shared it with me. But most of the content that is part of this presentation is from AI, just so that you can see how much help that could have been to her if she had to create this from scratch. Because this is someone that is fully operational, ops background, doesn't really know much about technology, should have had to do a lot of reading, which wasn't really the case because she pointed me to the bullet points, and all I've done in this presentation is walk through those bullet points and talk to you. So now, the final thing I want to say is that you should be security cautious. It's important to think about security. You should read the terms of service for AI tools. I know that many people don't like reading terms of service and things like that. We'll scroll down and say that we agree and we can move on. Sometimes you can take that thing and ask a different AI to summarize it for you or show things that jump out where they jump out so that you can even know if you want to move on with this product or not. Because you will be shocked. Because I know that some of those things are long, right? Let's be very honest. They've For a very long time I have not been reading them. But nowadays I will copy and paste it into a different product and ask in this term of service, what jumps out specifically? Should I not be using this product? Or how should I use this product? Should I not put certain things in there based on what they've talked about that they will not be liable for this or for this or for that? What should I know specifically about using this tool in the way I work as Adora? Right. And it's something that you can do as well if you're very lazy to read it, right? Um, you should also use business accounts if they are available because they come with more features, right? So you're able to do a lot more. You're able to sync your Google Drive, like I said, in some cases, and that just helps you. Imagine if you're supposed to be writing a paper for something, a document for something on your team, and there have been similar documents that have been written, right? That context, AI can pull out that context for you and help you write that document faster. Don't ever share sensitive or um like any sensitive personal or company data, whether it's trade secrets, whether it's passwords. Don't ever do that. Review conversation history and use local AI tools if there's ever any sensitive work. Thank you so much for